Utopia of the Seas is not for everyone. Since her first sailing, the internet has been blowing up with questions about this ship. Is there too much partying on the ship? Is it a family-friendly cruise? Can you find quiet places to relax, or is it going to be just club music and drunk college kids 20 hours a day? In fact, I've seen people talk about canceling their booking because they're so worried that it's too much of a party ship.
Are you kidding me? No, sir.
Well, I'm going to answer all those questions right now. Utopia was our 27th Royal Caribbean cruise, and we've sailed on every class ship they have, all the way from Icon of the Seas, which is the largest ship in the world, all the way down to Monarch of the Seas, which is a very old small ship, and it was our first Royal Caribbean cruise that they have sold off at this point. Either way, we have plenty of sailings to compare Utopia to. So to answer these questions, I'm going to go over a few points so you can decide if this unique ship is for you. And I'll let you know at the end what we thought of the whole cruise and if we're ever going back on it. So first, quickly, let's look at what was the purpose of this ship. And Royal Caribbean specifically stated that they designed it for people to have an option for a shorter cruise on an amazing ship. Whether it's somebody who cannot take a week-long vacation or new cruisers who may want to sample a short cruise first to see if it's for them, it looks like the main purpose is to get you hooked on cruising. And I think from that standpoint, Royal Caribbean accomplished their mission, because if you go on this cruise for 3 or 4 days, you're gonna want to come back.
You go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
So to quickly cover what Utopia of the Seas is not, it is not a cheap booze cruise. And to give you a point of reference, our worst cruise ever was on a 3-day Norwegian Sky from Miami during spring break with an alcohol package included. And by the way, I did a video about 7 biggest mistakes we ever made cruising. It made into my list of 7, and I'll link it here and in the description. But if you think about it, on Royal Caribbean, this is not a $200 cheap cruise where people just go to get drunk. Drinks are actually still expensive. $10 for a glass of wine and $15 for a cocktail, or if you get a drink package with gratuities, it runs you about $90 to $100 per person, and most college kids won't pay $400 for 4 days of drinking. It is also not a rowdy cruise with a whole bunch of crazy people. We found the general demographic to be a lot more well-mannered on this cruise than on the cheaper weekend cruises on smaller ships, both from the Royal Caribbean and other cruise lines. So what is the cruise on Utopia really like? The first thing that is noticeable is the younger passenger demographic. And that's exactly what Royal Caribbean has been trying to attract with this ship, so it makes sense. As far as activities, there are more pool parties and other new parties introduced. Now, we were on a back-to-back, so we got to see 5 different sail-away parties between the home port and the destination ports, and they were livelier and more attended than many sail-away parties on other ships. One difference we noticed was that the music consisted of upbeat DJ music instead of the usual steel drums Caribbean tunes. A negative thing we noticed is that music was louder and it carried down to cabins on balconies, especially Central Park, which I would not book again. We actually got to stay in both Central Park and Ocean View balconies on this back-to-back cruise, and I will make another video comparing different balcony cabin options on this ship. Now, as far as inappropriate behavior that so many people are worried about, there have been a few videos circulating online of some ladies behaving in not so ladylike fashion. And I can say that we did not encounter anything on this cruise that we didn't see on other shorter cruises that attract more younger people. Now, granted, 20 and 30-year-olds are going to wear more bikinis than 70-year-olds, and they will probably be a little louder at the pool. I mean, that's the same way at any public beach. The pool parties on our cruise were pretty tame, but I'm sure that can vary from sailing to sailing. To attract the younger crowd, Royal Caribbean introduced a number of new parties on this ship. For example, there's a fun toga silent disco party where they gave out togas at first, and then when they ran out, they just started fashioning togas out of bed sheets. The fraternity themed event, which is targeting that younger demographic. There are multiple dance parties held in Studio B and the music hall. A word of caution about the videos you see online is that you can present things in very different ways based on a narrative you're going for. So let me show you some clips from different perspectives from the parties that we went on Utopia. If I wanted to show you how much fun we had at the toga party, I would show you this clip. And if I wanted to present a case that it was rather boring, I would show you this clip instead. Now how about a dance party? Here we are having a blast dancing and you'd think the whole ship is rocking. But here's another viewpoint from the same party. So overall, the new parties are a welcomed addition because they provide more things to do, but they are not by any means the crazy atmosphere that so many people are now worried about. Oh, and by the way, you can completely avoid all parties on the ship. Just don't go to the scheduled sail away parties at the pool and don't go to the party venues after midnight, and you'll be good. On the other hand, this ship has plenty to do and plenty of relaxing places to go to. The solarium on it is like on Wonder of the Seas, where it is climate controlled. We always found plenty of seating. It was beautiful, it was relaxing. And as far as activities, there's so much to do and definitely not enough time. In fact, I would have hated to be on this cruise just for 3 days because it has everything as the usual Royal Caribbean Oasis class ship have. You have shows, you have activities, you have trivia games, bars with live music, karaoke, I mean, really, you name it. We did expect the quest to be crazier than usual because of the audience, but it was actually rather tame in comparison with what we've seen before on some ships. Now there are some additional activities. We did the escape room, which was a lot of fun. This ship also has amazing food. There are more than 20 restaurants, and on a 3-day cruise, you'd have to eat 7 meals per day to try them all. We did a back-to-back cruise, so we went to the included dining venues on the first 3 days, and then we did the specialty dining package for the last 4 days. And with more than 20 bars, you really don't have time to visit them all either, and there's definitely no shortage of food or drink on this ship. Utopia also has plenty of family-friendly activities. There are a number of thrilling water slides. It has a signature Oasis class ship dry slide that they managed to make 40 feet longer. They had laser tags set up in Studio B on several days. There's a high number of kid-friendly eating places. Anything from the Windjammer buffet to the hot dog place to Mexican quid bites. All in all, kids are not going to be bored on this cruise. So the ultimate question is, who is this ship for? And here are some answers. First of all, if you're an older person and you don't like young people having fun around you and you just want a nice, quiet vacation, this is probably not going to be the ship for you. Now, on the opposite hand, if you're a younger person who thinks this is going to be like a college party the whole time, you might be disappointed because there will be plenty of families and older people on this ship. However, if you want the middle ground, a ship that has pretty much everything for everybody, for families, for younger people, for older people, great food, great entertainment, you will not be disappointed with Utopia. For us, Icon of the Seas became our favorite ship, but we sailed on the inaugural cruise with less people, and I've been hearing that there have been more issues with crowding, kids and adults areas, and so on, and I can say that Utopia is now our new favorite ship because this is an amazing brand new vessel where everybody can have something to do, and you can do it on a 3-4 day short cruise, or you can go back to make it a longer vacation. With that said, there's a surprising number of differences between doing 7 days when it's 2 cruises back to back versus one 7-day cruise. And you can watch this video next to find out if this is for you or not.